Good morning and welcome back to Morning Buzz. I'm Alex and I'm here with Jordan. Yesterday, we promised to dive into something completely different, but equally fascinating: the psychology behind why we get so emotionally attached to our childhood bedrooms, even decades later. And honestly, Jordan, just thinking about this topic made me picture my old room with the glow in the dark stars on the ceiling.
Oh, those stars. I had those too. What's fascinating is that you're already experiencing what researchers call environmental nostalgia. Just the mental image of that space triggered a cascade of memories and emotions. Our childhood bedrooms hold this incredible psychological power because they were often our first truly personal spaces.
It's so true. I was talking to my cousin last weekend, and she mentioned how she still gets emotional driving past her childhood home. She said she always looks up at what used to be her bedroom window. What is it about that specific room that hits us so hard?
That makes perfect sense when you consider the developmental psychology behind it. Between roughly ages 6 and 16, our bedrooms become what psychologists call our identity laboratories. This is where we first experiment with who we want to be, putting up posters, arranging furniture, creating little worlds that reflect our emerging sense of self.
I love that term, identity laboratory. Mine definitely went through phases. I remember having this intense horse phase where literally every surface was covered with horse posters and figurines. My poor parents probably thought I'd become a professional equestrian or something.
And that's exactly the point. Your brain was forming crucial neural pathways during those developmental years, linking physical spaces with emotional memories and identity formation. When we decorated our rooms with horses or boy band posters or whatever captured our imagination, we weren't just decorating. We were literally constructing our sense of self in a tangible space.
That explains why going back feels so intense. I visited my childhood home a few years ago when my parents were selling it, and walking into my old room was like stepping into a time machine. Even though it looked completely different, I could still feel the ghost of who I used to be in that space.
You experience what researchers call place attachment, which is one of the strongest forms of emotional bonding humans can form. Our childhood bedrooms represent safety, autonomy, and creativity all rolled into one. They were often the only spaces in the house that were truly ours to control.
And let's be honest, they were also our fortresses during those awkward teenage years. I remember spending hours in my room, talking on the phone, journaling, basically figuring out life. It was like my personal therapy office.
Absolutely. From a psychological perspective, bedrooms serve as what we call restoration environments, spaces where we can decompress and process experiences. For kids and teens especially, bedrooms become crucial for emotional regulation. When the world feels chaotic or overwhelming, that room represents predictability and control.
This is making me think about how different kids' rooms are today compared to when we were growing up. Now everything is so Pinterest perfect and Instagram ready. I wonder if that changes the emotional attachment.
That's a brilliant observation. There's emerging research suggesting that when children's spaces are designed primarily for aesthetic appeal rather than personal expression, it can actually weaken that emotional bond. The psychological benefits come from the process of making choices and creating something that reflects your inner world, not from having a magazine-worthy room.
So all those perfectly curated kids' rooms we see on social media might actually be doing them a disservice. That's wild to think about.
It's possible. The mess, the phases, the questionable decorating choices, those are all part of healthy identity development. When I think back to my own room, I had this corner where I kept all my rocks and weird collections. It looked terrible, but it was mine.
Yes, the collections. I had this drawer full of what I called special things: ticket stubs, friendship bracelets, random shiny objects. Total junk to anyone else, but each item held this deep meaning for me.
Those special things represent what psychologists call memory anchors, physical objects that help us maintain connection to important experiences and relationships. Your childhood bedroom was essentially a museum of your developing self, curated entirely by you.
And maybe that's why it hurts so much when those spaces change or disappear. We're not just losing a room, we're losing a physical representation of who we used to be and all the dreams we had in that space.
Exactly. It's grief for our former selves and the infinite possibilities we felt in that room. But here's the beautiful part: those experiences of creating meaningful spaces don't have to end with childhood. We can continue designing environments that nurture our sense of self throughout our lives.
What a perfect note to end on. Thanks for exploring this nostalgic journey with us today. Tomorrow, we're switching gears completely to investigate why certain colors make us more productive and why your office walls might be secretly sabotaging your creativity. Until then, maybe take a moment to appreciate whatever space you're calling home right now.
See you tomorrow morning, everyone.